I knocked out a bunch of these yesterday, which is kind of nice. I'm looking forward to being done with my list. First up is Boatswaine. I'm going to head over to Discord. Oof, okay. I am on an old shard. Most fleets are running Leviathan or Executor. For AB, I'm typically able to complete CT1 for all, except for Inquisitor's Tuskens, since I don't have them. I took a leave of absence from mid-2021 until late 2023. Currently working towards SLKR, more relic levels to go. Gas, phase 2 is kicking my ass. Darth Revan, slow farm, fully relicking my CLS GAC TW team. Marin, thank you. And relic in Wampa. Do I pay for beers now? No, I don't care. I know as I grind on, I'll look forward to your response when I quit. I rush Shock and Clones, and as Anakin Cheese mode for Sith Triumvirate. Now I'm uncertain which direction to go with the new, since 2021, teams. I know C-Rex would make my Phoenix, thanks to LSB. Alright, so this guy will spend money every once in a while. A viable team again, and I also just cleared normal mode for the first time with help from 5-star Marin. I also just cleared normal mode. Oh, okay, I see what we're saying. Alright, let's see what we got up here. It would help if I actually bounced his .gg up onto my screen, wouldn't that? Oof. Alright. Tier 10. Hate these stupid ads, but I don't pay for .gg, so 4.5 million account. Let's check out this arena page. A really old composition, right? This is kind of like one of those just thrown together in the nick of time things that we use just to beat fleet. So we've got nothing here. Okay, it's good to know. Let's check this out. We're working on SLKR as our first. Let's take a look at the Galactic Republic. I mean, just looking at the Galactic Republic for the gas event, I would definitely bring Kenobi up just a little bit higher. I know you can really cheese it with mods, and there are a lot of guides out there to be able to do that. The way that I see things is that my time is my absolute most important, most valuable resource. So if I'm throwing shit at the wall for hours and hours a day trying to beat something for the modding, I'd much rather just bring something up just a little bit so that I don't have to deal with that and I can enjoy the game elsewhere. Kenobi is a really good character in this regard because you're going to use him largely all the way into the end game. You know, I've got an 11.3 million account and I'm still using him pretty much daily, right? There's no time in which I'm not using him. So those relics are not going to go to waste, which is really just my point. Let's see, who else? C-3PO, he's probably not going to change what happens in the event very much by raising him higher, but you're going to eventually need him for Galactic Legends anyway. So if you do raise that up a little bit, it's not going to cause you problems or be an issue. Let's just take a look at these ships for a second. Okay, what do we got here? Let me pull up my notes. Let's check out. Do we have Finalizer ready for... Okay, so we do have Finalizer ready, which means we are legitimately just looking at relics for SLKR, which is nice. I don't know, I always need to check because some people, I don't want to say lie to me, but I feel like they don't consider those things when they send me messages. Let's go. TIE Advanced is good, Houndstooth is good, Slave 1 is good, SIG 2000. Egg 2003 stars, TIE Fighter, Imperial TIE Fighter, alright, TIE Bomber, ooh, it's probably called something else, right? No, oh, okay, we do not have that at all. Let's see where Razor Crest is at. Ooh, no Razor Crest. What about Outrider? Don't have Outrider either. Okay. Let's see what we got here, huh? Oh, wrong button. Ah, because I'm no longer on your .gg. There we go. You know what? Actually, before we do this, let me just get a brief overview of where we are with the CT1s on our assault battles. I'm assuming, let's see, Bounty Hunter is probably about G2. Okay. So you probably do CT2 on Rebel Assault. You might be doing CT1 just because it's a pain in the ass, but it's definitely possible what you have. Imperial Troopers are nowhere to be seen. Separatist. Okay, so Forest Moon. If you're doing Forest Moon, you're probably using the Forest Moon. I don't want to say hack, but you're probably using the little Tarkin cheese that we used to use. I can definitely see a CT1 here. Check out those Night Sisters. Okay, yeah, I mean, I could see it. I'm a little surprised if you're able to CT1 it, but I'm not. I buy it. It's not the hardest event, CT1. It's CT2 where it gets to become a pain in the ass without having Merrin. Just check out those Inquisitors to see what we're working with. Not even a little bit. And CLS teams, so those Rebels. We got CLS. We have Chewbacca. Okay, I know we have C-3PO, so we have the makings of a good team here, and we're a 4.5 million account. Let's check out the GL history, shall we? I'm going to pull up a few things on my screen, too, while this is loading. Okay, let's see. We have that because of the LS bundle. We did not get the Rey one when that came around. Jedi Knight Luke we're pretty far from. Jedi Master Luke. Sith Eternal is a little bit further. Jedi Master Kenobi I consider to be pretty low priority at this point in the game. Lord Vader, that makes sense. Starkiller, Grand Inquisitor, we shouldn't be anywhere near. Jabba, Executor, Leviathan. Okay, Leia. Oh, where's Profundity? There is Profundity. Alright, let's go back to ships for a second. I want to check out some of our ships for Profundity just to see what we're working with. What do we need? We need the U-Wing. Okay, Biston's U-Wing, Cassian's U-Wing, Wedge's X-Wing, Wedge and Biggs' X-Wing, Rebel Y-Wing, let's check that out. Interesting. Ghost, okay, Ghost is the last one, I believe. Ghost, and then I know already Outrider, you don't have Outrider, but you do have a decent amount of these guys at a considerable level. Let's just check out Dash real quick. Okay, alright, and let's say Radis as well. Don't even have AdRad unlocked. Alright, okay. For an account in where you are in the game, there are two schools of thought, at least in my opinion. The thing that I suggest more often, especially if you're like a 1.5 to 3 million account, is to go for C. And I don't think going for C is necessarily a wrong answer for you right now. It'll give you the viability to do CT3 of Rebel Roundup, as well as the viability to do Forest Moon at CT3 with just very minimal increase in what you're going to need to invest in. It's also going to give you C, who is going to allow you to do most of the Proving Grounds tiers. And while a lot of people talk about C not being the greatest GL, I've always been very pro him and find him to be a very strong GL as long as you use him appropriately. I won't even get into Bane because Bane is off the menu for you right now, and it's going to be out of what you're able to get for a pretty decently long amount of time. So we're going to kind of step away and concentrate away from that. But again, if that's what you want to do, go the C Executor route. It's not necessarily wrong. But before I tell you the route that I think is a little bit better for you, the main thing that we want to kind of work on is our fleet income, right? You are on a much older shard because you are an older player. But based on what I'm seeing here with, where is it? Yeah, so based on what I'm seeing here in the message you sent me with Leviathans and Executors, still having Executors is surprising in the top 20. So it's likely that a lot of people are inactive. And getting in touch with your fleet Discord is maybe not the best idea right now. They're going to laugh at you and say there's no reason for you to be in the fleet Discord. But that's going to be an option you want to consider later so that you're working with your shard so that everybody maximizes the crystals that they're going to get. Those 300 to 400 crystals a day are one of the easiest things you can do to boost an account and kind of build how quickly it moves up in the ranks. But what I think is going to work for you better, just because you're a 4.8 or 4.5 million account, is actually to go the Profundity / Jedi Master Luke route. I did not look at your Wampa and Hoda yet, so let me just... Okay, good. Yeah, I think the Jedi Master Luke / Profundity route is going to be a little bit better for you. The reason being, we're going to be looking at a meta shift in the next 6 to 7 months, and it's going to take you time to get here. If I tell you to go for Executor, based on where you are with Executor, it's going to take you as long as it takes to get to that next meta in order to be able to do it. And we're not going to be able to guarantee you 3 years out from the Executor meta that you'll be able to still compete. Plus, because you bought that Rebel Lightspeed bundle, you're a lot closer to some of the Rebel things that a lot of players maybe aren't normally very close to early on, right? So we kind of want to be cognizant of where you are as a player. What that means is you're going to need to start working on Outrider and the Rebel Y-Wing pretty much ASAP. Outrider, I would try to do 1 refresh a day. I'm just going to pull it up to make sure that it's not on a Cantina. I don't think it is. Let's pop that up on my phone. Sith. I could probably just throw this on my screen too. That would require me plugging this in. Outrider. Okay, Outrider is a fleet node, and let's just check out Y-Wing real quick. Y-Wing. Where the hell is it? Y-Wing. No, not that one. That is the other Y-Wing. And Y-Wing is... Oh, they're both fleet nodes. That's going to kind of suck for you. Let's see. Okay. So the problem is with them both being fleet nodes... Good morning. The problem is with them both being fleet nodes is that you're going to have to do some refreshes here. And I don't know what you're playing with in terms of your crystals, but I do know that you don't mind spending a little bit of money, so maybe that's something that you want to invest in. I would say if it's at all possible, you should be refreshing Outrider and BTL. I'm looking at the wrong Y-Wing on this screen, but not on my other screen, so let me just pull that up. Yeah, you don't even have the other one unlocked. Sir, sir, because that's your name. If you're interested in a roster review, what I'm going to ask you to do is just pop over to my Discord. It is Egnards, Egnards, with no capitals. And what I'll do is I'll send you a Reddit link, which is my roster review Reddit link and my request thread. And it kind of just gives you the information that I need from you. It takes about 5 minutes to do, and it makes my life easier, and it turns a hour-and-a-half guessing game into about a 20-minute ordeal, which is much friendlier for me because you will have that information and I don't have that information. But going back to this, I know on my screen I have the wrong Y-wing because it's 7 in the morning and I'm feeling sick. But the one that I looked at in game I know is Fleet 100%. I would be refreshing the Rebel Y-wing and the Outrider 1 time a day, if at all possible, which means that you're going to be burning 50 crystals a day on node refreshes, and they're both on 20s. So you're going to need about 400 or so ship energy, which means 1 to 2 ship refreshes a day. So you're looking at 150 crystals a day there, which is not honestly that terrible if we're completely honest. But we're going to want to get on profundity as soon as we possibly can, which means that we're also going to need to work on characters like Dash Rendar, right? Who, if I remember correctly, you have at 1 star, not 1 star, I think you have at 7 stars or level 1 or something like that. Let's just double check. Dash, okay. Dash you can do 1 time a day. That's going to go a lot faster than your ships. And then Adrad I know you don't even have unlocked right now, so you're going to have to kind of work on that. But because he's accelerated, you're going to be able to do that once a day too. Now the thing is, Adrad's going to need to be Relic 9, so eventually you're going to need a couple thousand crystals to kind of push towards that, because I'm assuming right here that your guild is probably not the best. Yes, and they're not going to be getting R9 materials naturally on their own. But I think that the Profundity / JML route is going to kind of work best for you, since you'll have a little bit more of a future proofing with your fleets. One thing that you are definitely going to need to do, and I see this popping up here, let me just kind of turn that off here. One thing that you definitely, man, you guys are not, should have told me that we can't see this .gg on the screen. I apologize, since it is early morning. Let me just kind of take care of that really quick. Pop that on. Oh my god, I hate this stupid software sometimes. Let me just get this. Pull this, losing my train of thought and making myself look like an asshole. Yeah. Let's see, can I get the notes on the screen? There we go, notes on the screen. Change this over to Safari. Can I move that over? Okay, there we go. You guys should have told me. Here we go. So I think that route's going to work best for you, because JML is going to get you CT3 on the Ground Wars Assault Battle. It's also going to get you CT3 on the Military Might Assault Battle. So you're going to kind of build your ROI on your assault battles a little bit better. Jedi Master Luke is also going to significantly help you with Conquest, which is something you should be seriously considering as a 4.5 million account. It's unlikely that you're going to max it out. Cheers. I guess you missed half of it, and me being a jackass and not having your .gg up on this screen, but you know, you can always go back to the other part of it too and watch me blanking talking to a black screen. I promise it was on my screen. But he's going to really help you with Conquest, which is one of the best returns on investment for new characters. And while you're not going to get them in the 4 to 6 month range, most likely, you'll at least get a better backbone for next year as those characters become Proving Grounds characters. And you're not going to have to refresh them as much. He becomes one of the best Conquest characters at your level. At your level, any GL is going to be a significant improvement over having no GL. And there's a really good split in the characters for Jedi characters, in that you can make 2 or 3 teams out of them as you invest in more Jedi going forward, right? I just want to kind of see because this is not something. All right, so we have Jedi Knight Revan. I bring him up a little bit further, but that's not a priority right now. Really put most of your priority into profundity as you're finishing up SLKR. And make sure that you're using Get 1 towards Hermit Yoda. And as you start to finish up SLKR, and as some of your energy from some of the farms towards profundity start finishing up, make sure that you're putting a little bit of that towards your Jedi Master Luke farm, just because I think, again, that that's going to be a significant improvement on your account. Now, where to go after JML? We're looking multiple months in the future. And there's a couple options. You could go the Jabba route, which is really nice. You'll already have Jedi Knight Luke, and you'll be getting a lot of mod material from the Smuggler's Run 2 event. C is a really nice option as well, just for the assault battle viability. I think what I would probably recommend after Jedi Knight Luke is go for Jabba, but take a very quick detour just towards Imperial Troopers first, getting Veers, Stark, and Piet up to at least G12. I know that you don't have Piet unlocked yet, but if we can get those 3 characters to G12, and then we do something low budget like Range Trooper to G12 and Snow Trooper to G12, you'll be able to get like CT2 on both Forest Moon and Rebel Roundup just with that. I think you might be doing CT2 on Rebel Roundup already, but it's going to give you a pretty viable team as well. And it's going to build a backbone for C and Executor later on, so none of it's wasted material, because all of those characters are accelerated, and because Piet's the only one that requires significant Chirotech, it's not going to be a long detour for you at all. But instead of going the C route, I think I would recommend the Jabba route after JML. Again, we're talking like 5-6 months down the road. So who knows what's going to happen and what shifts are going to happen in that time, and if it's going to be important to you. I would maybe reassess after JML to see where the game is at, but I think a quick detour to Imperial Troopers just to get them assault battle ready, and then jumping over to Jabba with the information we have right now is probably your best bet. I know that a lot of this stuff wasn't around, and you're playing a significant game of catch-up. I'll be honest, I was super casual for my first 2 years of playing this game, and I had to play catch-up for years, and it was all about building efficiency and maybe not necessarily having the most fun in the world, right, when I was doing things. But it got me to a point now where I am kind of on the pulse of everything, and I am able to get things and make those decisions a little bit easier. So if you kind of keep at the efficiency, you will get there. But Outrider is going to be more of a... Outrider is going to be more of a priority to you in terms of fleets. And as much as I love Marin, I love my Marin. I was one of the first players to R9 her. Having those fleet crystals is largely going to be more important, than having, Marin. But, now that I'm saying that out loud, because you did do CT1, let me just double check this. Yeah, you're not there yet, but I think Outrider and the Y-Wing are going to be significantly more important to you right now. Okay, and we can, touch base on this in a few months if you want to, but I do think Profundity, SLKR, because you're already really close, Profundity, JML, short detour to Imperial Troopers, just to G12 for assault battles, and then Jabba is probably where you're going to find the best bang for your buck right now. All right, let's move on, shall we? I got another one that came to me yesterday. Whoosh. Okay, HCM9. Let's see what we got. We're going to throw this guy up here. And I'm going to read off my Discord and see what we have. I'd like a roster review and comment where I should go next. Fleet shard are on 15 7-star Leviathans. That sucks. So later shard, and the top 50 are Executor, Profundity, Actually, this person seems to be more on the pulse of the game anyway. Assault Battle, CT1 6 of 7, a CT2 5 of 7, CT3 5 of 7. Current goals, I'm working on Leia, and meanwhile working on Jedi Knight Cal requirements to 7. The guild is working on Inquisitors, so I think I'll do Inquisitors first and then Jedi Cal. I need to get Malgus to start working on Leviathan. Currently 171 of 330. So let me just pull out my calculator real quick because it is too early in the morning to be doing math in my head. So about 20. Alright, so that's about 8 months in order to get Malgus at this point. I'm all about efficiency. I had to focus on GAC, but since I reached Kyber, I want to start working on the rest of the roster to help the guild out now. Okay, so let's take a look at this guy and see where we are at with him, huh? Check out his arena page, see how we're doing. Oh, so we have the ability to get into the top 10. What I will say is, based on this graph here, you might not be working with your fleet shard, and I would highly recommend getting in contact with them if you're not doing that already. Oh man, if you are doing that already, there are some guides on being able to beat Leviathans with Profundity. I'm not super familiar with it just because I have Leviathans, so I don't need to do it. But you can definitely take out the Leviathans with the correct investment, the correct turn orders, and the correct moves. I would definitely look into some post-nerf guides because they are out there. I've seen them, and I know that there are people in my shards still using AdRad, Profundity rather, and there are some people still using Executor and still hitting top #1, with almost all of us in an arms race with R9ing Leviathan things, because nobody in my friggin' fleet shard wants to listen to me when I say, hey guys, let's all just set Dagger on defense to make this easy for everybody. But that's neither here nor there if they want to Relic 9 all of those stupid things. Okay, let's see what we got here. Alright, we're close to SLKR because we bought a Lightspeed bundle, I'm assuming. So if that is the case, that should be your priority right now. You already spent the money, you might as well do it. We have JML, which is nice. Okay. Let's just check this stuff out. Grand Inquisitor. Ooh, we're not even on that at all. And Leia. Okay. Let's check out where we are with this, shall we? 1, 2, 3. All right. Let me see what these Inquisitors are looking like. All right. The thing with Inquisitors, until you get Reva, they're not super great. With Grand Inquisitor, they're not the worst thing in the world. They are pretty useful with Grand Inquisitor, but with Third Sister, it really does significantly change them. TSP, what you can do is go to my Discord, right? Friend me on Discord. It's Egnards, Egnards, which I think is spelled somewhere. I don't know. You hit the stream. I didn't. There's no capitals in that name. And just shoot me a message, and when I get a chance, I'll send you my roster review thread. And my roster review thread kind of just gives you the information that I ask from you that turns a 2-hour guessing game into a 20 to 30 minute quick thing. Because you have the information, and even if I go in game, there's some things that I just can't see and I have to make assumptions about. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to pull up this... No, wrong one. Let's just pull up HCM, his message again. Working on Leia, Jedi Cal, and Inquisitors. Alright, so let's check all of that stuff out, shall we? Just to see. We have Marin. Alright, Marin's up there. Seer is 6 stars. Cal, 5 stars. Cal's not a concern because he is a Cantina farm. Tar and Saw. Here's the thing with Jedi Knight Cal. He's probably coming around fairly soon. Your guild is most likely not going to be prioritizing Zepho right off of the bat. But if you make a short detour now towards Cal, because you actually only need G12, it's not the worst thing in the world to go towards. You're still several months out on your Inquisitors just in terms of farming those shards. And you can be slow farming those shards while you're finishing Jedi Knight Cal. I'm going to tell you that I don't necessarily think that that's an important thing to do, but I know, and you mentioned working on Jedi Knight Cal, so I want to point out that I don't think working on Jedi Knight Cal is actually going to significantly slow down you working on Inquisitors, if that's what you want to do. I need more coffee. Alright, let's just check out these guys. Drogon's up there. Captain Rex, Scout, okay, and Nessa. Alright, let's see where we're at with Leia. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad, not bad. Sith Eternal Emperor is far. And we do have Jabba. Okay, so here's kind of what I would do right now. Well, actually, let me just check Finalizer real quick, because this seems to be the sticking point for a lot of people. Finalizer's 4 stars. What I would be doing is I would be slow farming Finalizer, and what that basically means is that even though you're super close, I know that Finalizer only comes around once every 2 weeks. Don't even necessarily concern yourself with refreshing it. You do want SLKR, but it's not going to be the biggest deal in the world for you right now. Kind of let that happen organically, but definitely finish the relics off now. Just so that you're ready for that when that comes around. After that, you should also be working on Leia. You already have the hard part of that done. And it's just going to be really relicing characters that you already have. So 100% SLKR into Leia for now. I would 100% be starting your Inquisitor slow farm right now, which is just 5 battles per day on each of them. Fifth Brother, I think, is the one that's a Cantina farm, so if you want to wait on that one, you can. The way that I prefer to do things, though, is I do my Cantina refreshes in the morning, I get all of my signal data, and then midday when I get my Cantina bonus energy, that's when I'll use my bonus energy and my accumulated, which is about, usually I think 70 to 90 or so energy. I'll use that towards whatever slow farm I'm working on, and if you do that, you'll kind of... It doesn't really matter. It's not going to change the farming speed, but for me, psychologically, it does help me because you're not getting a lot of signal data with that little energy blip, and it brings you a little bit closer to those farms, right? So it'll help you in working on the Inquisitors, but I'm going to remind you that when it comes to Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, I don't think that you're going to be slowed down by the Inquisitors just because it looks like, you know, you really haven't put too significant of an effort in them yet. That's probably about 2 to 3 months out, whereas you could be doing the majority of your work. No, scratch that. I'm going to change what I said. Work on Inquisitors first, because I'm thinking about Leia, and you're going to want to prioritize Leia and the gear towards Leia. Inquisitors will serve you a little bit better, and Jedi Knight Cal you're probably not going to get the next time it comes around, which I think is going to be in the next 3 to 4 weeks, but he will be permanent in June, July, somewhere around there. So go with that slow farm to finish up Finalizer. Go for Leia just because you're already there. Start working on slow farming your Inquisitors as you free up some energy, you know, and then work on those Inquisitors just because it is going to help your guild. In that 375 million, you're already saying that your guild is kind of pushing you in that direction. So you're going to kind of want to honor that and, you know, help them out a little bit. Let's just see if I see anything too crazy. Da, 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 da. Nothing terrible here. Da, 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 da. Okay. Now the other thing that I want to talk about really is Leviathan, right? So you're about 8 months out from Leviathan. If you were to slow farm Proving Grounds, and that doesn't even include the Fury class. I have no idea where you are with the Fury class because you don't have Malgus yet to unlock it, even if you have the shards. But it does put you significantly far out on the ship, and we are going to be looking at a meta shift in like the next 6 to 7 months. So I personally don't recommend refreshing the Malgus Proving Grounds, but make sure that you are able to do it so that you can build those shards up. I have a very funny feeling that the next fleet increase, the next fleet that we get, it's going to have similar, if not worse, requirements than Leviathan does. And while Leviathan has really good requirements for a veteran player on the top end, right, it made it very easy for players like me to get. It has really tough requirements for an account that's maybe in the middle game. So I think it's going to be really tough for you to pivot towards whatever is next. And I could be wrong. I really don't like to speculate, but I'm just kind of thinking of everything going on right now. What that means is that if Profundity is not able to beat the next fleet, you're going to want to seriously consider a push towards Leviathan. Malgus's ship should not be an issue for you by the time that happens, or Malgus rather should not be an issue for you by the time that happens, but Malgus's ship might be an issue for you depending on where you are with Malgus's ship right now, right? Again, I can't see those shards because it's not unlocked for you because you don't have Malgus. That might be a ship that once it hits Proving Grounds after the next conquest in a week, well, I guess 3 weeks technically, you might want to consider doing like 1 refresh per round, but that depends on where you are in terms of the shards. You know, you might have had much better luck on that conquest and you're not too far out. I would say that if you're at like 200 plus shards of that, don't bother refreshing it. If you are lower than that, you might consider just doing 1 refresh just to kind of get it in line. And after your Inquisitors, I would be working towards Leviathan as a fail-safe for that new fleet. You know, the other option is to hoard towards that new fleet, but I just, at this level of the game, I don't think it's worth hoarding because you're essentially going to be, you're basically gambling, and that gamble can pay off, but I think that the downside on that gamble is a lot higher than the upside on that gamble. Okay, so you can hit me up after this. I'll send you a link to this, and if you have any questions. You know, it really depends with Relic Iden. I'm going to be honest, I'm at a different level of the game, and I just recently brought my Iden up. Relic Iden, you know, when you're doing like the Thrawn counter for Profundity, if that is the way that you're going, you know, is not a bad route. But with having Profundity, my first goal is to see if you can research and look up, God, I need more coffee. See if you can research and look up the counters to the Leviathan fleets post-nerf and see if you can figure those things out. Because if you're able to do it with Profundity, and I'm telling you, there's like 5 people in my fleet chart still doing that. I don't know why they're still doing it, because they are more veteran accounts. They just haven't prioritized Leviathan at all. There's really no need to go necessarily for Iden. Inquisitor is super important just from a guild perspective. As a TB officer myself, it pisses me off when guild members aren't willing to put in the effort that the rest of the guild is putting in, and that involves the teams that the guild is kind of pushing. And that also involves platoons, right? It's nothing worse than somebody in Discord constantly saying, when are we going to get this? When are we getting this? When are we getting this? But they're never contributing to things that aren't necessarily the best for their account, but are best for the guild overall. Oh, man. Whew, okay. We're going to pull up another one here. Let's see. Christian. Let's see where Christian is. I like his character name. Mr. Jim Carrey. Will a real Jim Carrey please stand up? And let's see what time it is right now. 39:45. 39:45. Hey, okay, this is somebody that I've talked to a bunch, and they were on my stream last night, and we were talking a little bit. Mostly 5 to 7 star executors, only one profundity under them myself, so it's a newer shard. I'm in a Fleet Shard Discord, perfect. I need to remind myself to add that to my Reddit thread so that people do that. CT1, 6 of 7, CT2, 5 of 7, CT3, 2 of 7. I'm finishing up my Ray Ol SLKR ult is about to start, so we definitely bought both of the Lightspeed bundles, but I'm dead to rights on Zetas for SLKR. I started playing seriously summer of 2022, and I've been blessed to be able to spend fairly freely on the game. I usually just focus on keeping my crystals topped up as needed, but I wailed on Jedi Cal. I just broke into Kyber, and I definitely need to figure out what to do with my GAC defense. It's a little rough. I'm on P4 of gas. It's so funny to have Jedi Cal and not gas, but I don't have enough Get 1 save to get into 7 stars right away, and I don't have the Zetas for gas, so I've been chilling on Finish That. I've changed how I farm mods, so those are getting better slowly. I'm down to just straight efficiency for a little bit. I know I should round out some teams before I move on. So this is a classic case, and I talk about this a lot with people before I even look at this account. It sounds like we're spending just to spend, but we're not necessarily thinking about where we're spending or why we're spending. I don't care how much money you spend on this game, whether you're spending $10 a month, whether you're spending $1,000 a month. I honestly don't give a shit. If you got the money to do it, then great, do it. If this is your form of entertainment, it's not on me to tell you otherwise. What I am going to say is that sometimes we get in the habit of spending or speeding up farms that aren't necessarily speeding us up as players, and a lot of people kind of fall into that trap, especially with refreshing nodes. Right, so if you have one character at 3 stars and 4 characters at 6 stars, and you need all of them for an event, unless you're going to use 4 of those characters right away, it makes no sense to refresh those nodes when you're still waiting on a 3-star character, because they're going to kind of just be wasted crystals, again, unless you're actually going to use those characters in the very short term. And it kind of sounds like that's what's happening here, is that we're in a severe Zeta crunch, and we're not really able to capitalize on all of the things that we're farming. I normally don't recommend those stupid Zeta bundles. I don't think they're overall the best value in the game. I think I valued Zetas at like $3 per material just based off of store values and pack values. That doesn't necessarily mean that $3 per material is a good value, but that's just kind of where CG values it. But if you're going to spend money on the game right now, it sounds like your priority needs to be Zetas. TSP, thank you. You know, I have like a line of people that I'm constantly working with, so whether I get to it now or whether I get to it later today, I took a sick day today just because I feel like shit, so whether I do it right this second or whether I get to it a little bit later in the day, it probably will be done by the end of the day regardless. So what it sounds like as a player is that you actually need to slow down on the shards a little bit, and start kind of putting more of your energy and your resources into your mods, because you're moving up so fast, where we need to slow that stuff down and focus on other aspects of the game. Oh, there goes my pencil. So start doing at least 3 refreshes of mods per day. If you're going to spend, that might as well be where your crystals go towards. If you're going to spend, Zetas might as well be where your crystals are going towards. And, you know, allowing everything else to kind of catch up. I just want to check my CT1s. We do have most of the CT1s already done, so we can't kind of increase that much. Yeah, I always message you guys in Discord, and I take notes on timestamps so that, you know, if I do a stream later today, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you'll be able to kind of just watch me looking at your account, which maybe is a little creepy, but who knows. Let's see, Star Killer, Grand Inquisitor, Jabba, we have Jabba, have Executor, we've got Profundity. Do we have Leviathan? We're not there yet on Leviathan. We do. Well, we don't have Cal Kestis yet, but we are close to Cal Kestis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just want to check out that fleet Discord. I know he said that he is talking to his fleet. Where did this go? It looks like you have things intact. There might be a couple days where you're just busy, which is fine, right? Which means Leviathan doesn't necessarily have to be a right now priority for you. I'm just wondering where we are on that. We do have Malgus, but it definitely should be something in consideration. Oh, perfect. It should definitely be something in consideration, just because with the new fleet meta shifting in about 6, maybe 7 months, if you're on the pulse and able to get that, then great, but it might not be an option depending on how asinine the requirements are compared to what Leviathan was. So, kind of staying on the pulse of Leviathan may be a good idea for you. The added bonus there is that it doesn't really necessarily require Zetas in the short term, since it is a ship farm. Let's see. GAC defense. Alright, let's check out these Galactic Republic and see what we're doing here. Galactic Republic. Oh, well, actually we're on gas P4, so let's check out Separatist. Alright, honestly, it sounds like the issue that you're having with gas P4, just looking at what is this? But I don't have enough get one to get them right away. Okay, so just looking at what you have right here for your Separatist for P4, it sounds like it's mostly a modding issue, not a character issue. You have all the characters at the relics that you're going to largely need them at. I'd look up a guide for that just to kind of see. I don't know if you are using hot utils, but for this event, I would highly recommend remodding to build towards it a little bit faster. I hate throwing shit at the wall. I hate banging my head against the wall. I'd rather just bum rush something and get it over with. I will say I'm not an expert on specific events. This one is a very, very nuanced event. I just look up a guide, get those speeds where they need to be, try to get it out of the way as soon as possible, because your relics are not holding you back here at all. What I do want to see is where we're not getting. This is probably it. I'm assuming we have Night Sisters. Okay, with Marin, this is probably the one you're doing at CT1. Marin just makes things easier. Okay, I'll look back at this. Finishing up rail, SOKR, it's about to start. Okay, but I wailed on Jet Knight Cal. Alright, so here's what I think you need to do. Obviously work on the SLKR alt just because you have it, you're already there, so you might as well work on it. You wailed on Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and kind of put some sort of priority to it. I do want to see if all of them are where they need to be first. Yes, Seer, yes, Saw, yes, Marin, yes, and Tarful, right, yes. You're obviously going to want to go for the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis event. It's silly not to if you've spent money towards it anyway. It doesn't make sense not to. So I understand that. You're going to want to put some Zeta priority towards that. Otherwise, you've basically wasted your money. But barring that, I would be putting significant priority towards your mods right now because you do need to slow down. And I would be putting some significant priority towards Leviathan. Now the reason, and I kind of said this before, but the reason I would be putting some significant priority towards Leviathan is because it's a ship. You're a Kyber GAC player. Having another GL fleet is going to really help you. But because it's a ship, there's not a ton of Zetas you need to invest necessarily right away. It's not going to be an amazing ship without the Zetas for the speed on your characters if you don't have those Zetas already. But you can start building that ship, and every month getting your 10 free shards to ease up when you actually do need the Leviathan, and kind of invest Zetas going forward from there. That should help you, one, stay relevant once the new fleet meta comes around. Two, it'll help you slow down on some of the things that you need to slow down on right now because your Zeta crunch is real and you just don't have the resources to invest in the things that you're shard farming anyway. And three, it's going to save you money on Leviathan in the long run if you're able to get some of those shards short term. At that point, hopefully, you'll be in a little bit better of a position with your Zetas. I know that Galactic Legends can really, really significantly destroy the Zetas that you do have. It looks like being in the guild that you are in. I just want to check something here. Ugh. Load. Loady. Come on, there we go. Grand Inquisitor. Okay, so with 32 Grand Inquisitors in the guild, it does look like your guild is probably setting some degree of priority towards getting Riva. They might not be requesting you to do it, but it's in good form to kind of play with your guild a little bit and play nice. So after you're going for Leviathan, I would try to work on those Inquisitors as another project, bringing them up to, R7. Where by the time you do that, your guild will probably already be getting significant shards, and Third Sister is a really solid farm, and really transforms the team into something amazingly useful. Normally I'm on the route of just bum rushing all of the GLs, but I don't necessarily think that that's always the right situation for people, and I do think it's important to do kind of work with your guild a lot so that you show that camaraderie, and so that they keep you on, and so that everybody's kind of progressing. But I think if you work on Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, which seems to be more of a passion farm for you, and then you slow yourself down with Leviathan and then move into Inquisitors, it'll kind of serve you pretty right now. I wouldn't go too much further than that because we're going to see the meta shift. We're probably going to see another major event since Stop just came out. And usually whatever comes after the January character sets us up for like the next 4 to 5 months in the game. And like I said before, I think that you need to set some focus, some like real hard focus in your mods. Now that's kind of counterintuitive to how I play because I'm more of a passive player and an ROI player. I don't set a lot of priority towards my mods personally, but I've also been playing for 7+ years, so I have tons of mods in storage, and I have a little bit. I've been able to gear up one team at a time, and slow farm my way to the next thing without having to worry necessarily about there being 40 things in the back burner. Is that the right way to do things? Maybe not, but I'm not a huge GAC player, so it's really not a big deal for me to do that kind of thing, right? For you, that's going to be a big thing, and because of this insane Zeta crunch you're in, slowing down in one aspect but picking yourself up in another aspect is going to give you more bang for your buck, especially when it's real bucks, right? Not game bucks. And that's kind of the psychology that the game kind of tricks us into, is thinking that we need something right now, but then getting that right now thing and saying, oh, wait, I actually can't even use this for another 3 months because of XYZ issue. All right, with that said, I am actually going to sign off for right now because my wife should be waking up, and she's going to need the home office for actual work, not this ridiculous video game crap that I'm doing right now. I most definitely will be on later before I have to run out. Probably in the next, what is it? It's 8 in the morning right now. I'm probably going to get on right around the TV shift time so that I can get my TV stuff done and finish up a few more of these roster reviews. If there is anybody watching that is interested in a roster review, EGNARDS, no capitals, on Discord. Hit me up. I'll send you the information that I need from you. You send it back, and I'll add you to my list. I think between today and yesterday, I knocked out a significant portion of my downline, and I'll probably be able to get to the rest of them today. All right, so thanks for tuning in, watching, and